or even his own father, South African poet and activist Exile, than any commercially minded run-of-the-mill rapper.
How you saying it, big dog? Hold on, what?
Of the bygone eras, or even his own father, South African poet and activist Exile, than any commercially minded run-of-the-mill rapper.
I'm gonna say this, bro. I've seen that man's name on paper, and I couldn't even begin to tell you how to say it, bro. What it do, man? It's your boy 100, and we back in this. Hey, we back in this, man. And since Earl Sweatshirt just dropped a new album, I was gonna do an album review. I might still do it. I might still do an album review, but I gotta listen to it more. I gotta tap into it more. I gotta really try to understand the songs and what's going on with the album. But the video we're about to watch is why Earl Sweat sabotaged his career on purpose. So this is somebody's opinion on why his career has went the way it's went, why his music has went the way it's went. You know, when he first dropped his first mixtape, they was getting stupid buzz and they was on the rise. When he dropped his first album, it was like his wordplay is crazy, his metaphors are crazy, he's amazing for his age. But now it's like his music is just super abstract and weird beats, and you know, it's not for the casual listener. It's not for the casual. And so I guess in this video, we're gonna try to figure out why that is. Let's tap in.
Some artists are born to buck trends, whether it's in the realms of jazz, rock, electronica, or hip-hop itself. There's always going to be outliers that move in ways that seem completely incomprehensible to most people. But for those that get it, they'll really get it, and embedded into their hearts and minds with the knowledge that this music is theirs. Ever since he came out of the gate swinging with the rambunctious Odd Future Wolfgang Kill 'Em All, LA's Earl Sweatshirt has always geared towards the side of confronting hip-hop's norms rather than abiding by them, amassing no shortage of die-hard fans along the way. Notoriously removed off YouTube on countless occasions for his gore-laden visuals, Earl, the title track from the debut mixtape of the same name, quickly marked the teenaged MC as an excited prospect.
Dang, that was like 10 years
Somewhere
ago.
between foul-mouthed delinquent and a prodigious nihilistic poet with technical ability beyond his years. The project quickly elevated the young MC to the status to the abrasive group's greatest wordsmith. But just as the taboo-shattering collective's stars started burning bright, enough that the entire world was forced to take notice, Tebe was obscured from public view. Concerned for his welfare and the wayward path that he was heading down, Earl's mother, Cheryl Harris, a decorated professor in civil rights and civil liberties, forcibly isolated him from the group by shipping him off to a strict Samoan boarding school. Upon returning, Earl's worldview had been unalterably changed. Gone were the sophomoric sexual violence jokes and gross-out punchlines. In their place, a young man that seemed to have increasingly less use for his outmoded mindset. In a GQ Q&A that coincided with the release of his 2013 debut album Doris, Earl saw no way to reconcile the man he'd since became with the boy that he once was when he first appeared in the public eye. I'm grown now. I was a little ass kid in 2009. I figured out. Well, not figured out, that's ridiculous, not in some pretentious way, just as a result of time. Defining the peril lyricism of the past as my way of screaming because I don't yell, his first post-Samoa project still bears shreds of resemblance to the brash and mischievous teenager that he once was.
Good bars in there.
It offsets the edginess with frank discussion on addiction, loss, and the persistent tug of depression that had haunted him for his entire life. At this stage, Tebe still operated within the spectrum of the mainstream in the same way that Tyler, the Creator, does to this day. Their music looked at hip-hop from an unorthodox viewpoint, but was still palatable enough that it could resonate with a passive ear that encountered it. But from March 23rd, 2015,
that's what I was saying. Like his first album, like a casual listener could tap in and recognize his skill and recognize like the attraction to his music. But it's like as time goes by, hey.
15, and the release of I Don't Like I Don't Go Outside onwards, Earl had been unafraid to alienate anyone that came along looking for an agreeable listening experience and isn't willing to go along for the ride with them. Through the masterful soul-exercising 10-minute journey that is solace, to the fragmented ruminations of grief, hope, and everything in between that can be found on the thrilling some rap songs, Tebe has confounded the masses while keeping his hardened fans entranced. Then, in the heady mix of sonic discordance and the lyrical profundities that made up Feet of Clay arrived in November, it marked the point where some listeners officially revoked their interest in the 25-year-old once and for all. Some tweets reacting to it and Earl in general after its release. I'm officially retiring from bumping new Earl Sweatshirt music ever again. That man is finished. He's horrendous. Keep hyping that trash. Doris was a good time, proclaimed one particularly fury Twitter user to the tune of over 200 likes.
I mean, I understand why he's saying what he's saying, because if you go back and listen and then you go all the way up to Feet of Clay, it's like, who even is this? What is this? It's just different. It's just a different sound.
Consisting on offbeat textures and meandering flows, Feet of Clay is a million miles away from his debut studio album, and his purposeful renunciation of anything that's even slightly comparable to what's occurring in hip-hop's chart-friendly sphere has lost him no shortage of casual fans, and this can be charted in brass tracks. Upon its release, Doris enjoyed considerable showing on the charts, peaking at number 5 on the Billboard 200. Now, 6 years later, the lo-fi offering that is Feet of Clay's reached its highest height 102 a full 15 days after it was released. But where other artists would sound the horn and look to rectify this as quick as possible, this plummet down the charts is all part of Earl Sweatshirt's agenda. Revealed by certain sectors of the hip-hop consumer base, but universally praised by critics, what other people would see as a commercial failure is what Earl now sees as a creative triumph, and one that allows him to take control of who he is and where he's headed. Freed from his Columbia Records deal, a January 2019
He's free from Columbia? I feel like when his music comes out, though, it still says Columbia on it. If I ain't tripping. I could be tripping, I don't know.
Profile with Pitchfork saw Earl divulge that, "I'm excited to be free because I can do riskier shit." Left to impotently rage against the label that had infamously fumbled the rollout to his second album in 2015, Feet of Clay marks complete and utter liberation, and for Earl, it means heading back to the carefree creativity that only comes from knowing the world isn't watching you. It's like that point when you were 16. It wasn't to chart, I was thinking about the art of it. That type of awareness lets you do the experimental that you want to do. Between these two modes, quick rhyming technician and experimentalist, a conversation is taking place about who Tebe Naruto is and what Earl Sweatshirt represents. On Feet of Clay, what Earl Sweatshirt represents is an artist that's meeting his own specifications without having to worry about any interjection. From the non-existent production values of the East video to his decision to incorporate features from fellow subversive and relative unknowns such as Makhami, Liv E, and Mavi, the EP has a feeling of low stakes that you'd never expect to arise in the work of an artist that could be a household name by now if you wanted. Whether it was at Odd Future's cultural peak around the OF Tape Volume 2, or guesting alongside Danny Brown, Ab-Soul, and Kendrick Lamar on Really Though, there's been no shortage of windows in which Earl could have consolidated the hype and made strides towards increasing his mainstream profile.
He could have.
But while some artists find the ensuing fame and flashbulb-filled lifestyle that comes with being a rapper just as, if not more alluring, than the act of artistic expression, Earl sees no value in the recognition of hip-hop stardom. And in the 2015 Q&A with Ferrari Shepherd, Tebe seemed eager to dismantle his own notoriety once and for all. Fame is a stressful and dehumanizing pedestal, because that's what it was for me. I didn't get the privilege of having a choice when it came to the ascent of my name and likeness in music. Naturally, I was upset. Disheartened as he was by being unceremoniously thrust into the public eye, Earl may...
That is true though, you know what I'm saying? Like, he went away and he came back and he was like, his face was everywhere. Everything was free Earl. Everything was just Odd Future. Like, he came back and it was just like, I'm everywhere. Everybody know me. And I didn't have a say in any of this. It just happened while I was gone.
Not take any pleasure from the visibility that comes with hip-hop success, but had the self-awareness to release that he had a role to play. And in typical fashion, it's one that's more in line with that of backpacker MCs of the bygone eras, or even his own father, South African poet and activist Kier Pest Gyoketstil, than any commercially minded run-of-the-mill rapper.
How you said it, big dog? Hold on, what?
Of the bygone eras, or even his own father, South African poet and activist Kier Pest Kyoketstil, than any commercially minded run-of-the-mill rapper.
I'm gonna say this, bro. I've seen that man's name on paper, and I couldn't even begin to tell you how to say it, bro.
My ultimate job purpose is to teach. I'm blessed to have a platform that allows me to speak to many at once. I recognize that I can make consciousness a tangible thing for young people. So, while some rap songs Nowhere to Go saw Earl lament over the weight that had been exacted on his young shoulders as he spit, "You gave me a coast, you went and gave me a cape, but that never gave me no hope." Earl now accepts the role that he has in pushing hip-hop forward through not only his ability, but the innate intimacy of his music. He's just committed to doing it on his own terms. Intent on reshaping our understanding of who Earl is and what bracket his music should be filed under with each passing project, Earl isn't too much making a concerted effort to outrun his past self, as he's actively shunning the notion that as an elite rhymer, he should be striving to reach the top of the game. Instead, he sabotaged his mainstream appeal in order to move unencumbered and allow the music to find its way to receptive ears rather than ones that are looking for him to meet any cultural criteria. Across I Don't Like to some rap songs and the recent feat of Clay, Earl has thrown caution to the wind when it comes to creating and found that the abstract, while less marketable, is what compels him to keep picking up the pen.
Abstract.
And in a conversation with his mother, Cheryl Harris, at MLCA, Earl all confirmed that any pressure to clamber up the chart or responding to outdated perceptions of who he is or was have been erased in favor of using rap as his conduit to make sense of it all. Responding to a fan's question about his writing process, Earl had the following to say: "It's for sale. You can obviously go buy it if you feel that, but its goal when it comes out isn't to sell the most. It's to get it off, you know what I'm saying? Figure it out. Rap helps me figure out life. It's just a medium that I figure out life through, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's the joy. And when you strip away the glitz,
that's deep. Like, yeah, it's for sale, you can buy it, but this is just me expressing myself. This is my art. If he was just sitting in his room painting and then his painting just blew up and he became super famous, and it's like, well, I just like to paint. I don't necessarily want to be famous. I don't necessarily want to be this idol. I don't want to live up to whatever your expectations are. I just want to paint. You know what I'm saying? People don't look at it like that because music moves people differently. Like, music gives people a feeling, and they feel it and they get attached to that feeling. And when they hear a beat and they hear a song, it's like hypnotizing, and it takes them back to that time in their life. People come enamored with the person because of the art, and they forget about the person behind the art. It's a person, just a person.
The glamour, the accolades, or the platinum plaques, and the incessant noise of the industry machine. Isn't that what hip-hop has always been about? This has been a Hip Hop Madness original. Make sure to stay tuned and stay up to date with everything we got going on by hitting that subscribe button and notification bell.
Shout out to them though. Shout out to Hip Hop Madness for that recap. This was that video came out like over a year ago. It came out after Feet of Clay, but he just dropped Sick like a month ago, some weeks ago. But yeah, it seems like he just getting more and more abstract and more. It's like he making whatever he wants to make. It's not like he's trying to hit no charts. It's not like he's trying to show off that I can out rap you niggas. It's like he just doing whatever he wants to do. Like, have you ever seen like Vincent Van Gogh's paintings when he was like young? They was super duper intricate and super duper layered and like praised by everybody. But the older he got, it's like it just became more and more abstract. Like, it just changed. It's just like he just did it just to do it, not to live up to anything or try to be what y'all want me to be. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that's what he doing. Like, he's, as he gets older, he's gonna get more and more abstract, but it's just seeing him make whatever he wants to make. It does alienate a lot of people. Like, real deal fans is like throwing their hands up, like, I don't want nothing to do with it. And especially the casual fan, just every now and then, people who ain't really like messing with him like that, like they definitely ain't tapping in no more. Like me, I don't play every song he dropped. Like I was riding around to some rap songs. I was riding around to Feet of Clay, and I'm riding around to Sick right now. You know, it just seems so intricate. Like, he had a bar that was like so simple, but it was so layered that I had to like think about it for a while to figure out what he was talking about. And it's like, think about a song full of lines like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not for the casual. It's not for the casuals. But yeah, man, let me know how you feel about this, man. Do you feel like Earl is falling off? Do you feel like he cares about falling off? Do you feel like he should even care about what people have to say about what he makes? Because it's people online saying he garbage and he fell off and everything he's making now is trash. There's people online saying this with their whole chest. Do you feel like he'll ever be in the mood to want to try to be on the top of the charts again, or try to, you know, show what he can really do if he's trying to make a more culturally accepting album? Let me know how you feel in the comments, man. But as always, man, you know what I'm saying, like, comment, subscribe, things of that nature. We still going up. It's still January. We still can hit 700 before February. So if you're watching, you ain't sure what you doing. What you doing, cousin? You feel me? We on the way, man. Clothes still for sale as always. You already know. Link in the description. Twitter in the description. Instagram in the description. Tap in with me on all platforms. Appreciate all the love, and I'll see y'all in the next one.